Welcome to hell.
Caca.
Earlier this month, the AMS apologized to Indigenous communities on campus over sluggish effort to advance reconciliation. Since then, there is now an AMS Indigenous Committee to look into policy and initiative to continue that effort. And Vancouver has a new mayor after a very, very long election cycle. And a razor-thin margin between Ken Sim and Candy Stewart. Candy Stewart is our new mayor.
Stephen Galloway is back. The former Ubyssey creative writing chair is suing around 20 people, including the main complainant in the original sexual assault case against him, for defamation over comments made both online and in person. Ben Shapiro came to campus, and there was a lot of ruckus about it. The AMS came out against him coming to campus and offered support services to those who might have been affected by him being here. There was a teach-in and a scaridarity party held for people who weren't comfortable with him being on campus, but ultimately not much went down at the event itself. There were no protests. People threw 2 tomatoes. I know because I went and found both the tomatoes.
Welcome to Blog and Opinion. This month in the opinion section, we had a few really good last words. We also apologized on whoever defaced the cairn. I wonder who that was, but we apologized for them. Wonder who it was. That's weird that we would do that, but we do this sort of thing. And then lastly, we talked about how Ubyssey does not have a fall reading break. We still have to say this. We need a fall reading break. Please. In blog, the 2 most important things this month were, of course, weed legalization and Halloween. We had Joshua Azizi writing about how, hey, it's legal now, so why don't you go and smoke in front of the nest? And then, of course, for Halloween, we had Anupriya Dasgupta writing about what the Halloween club crawl should truly be.
I did it! Welcome to sports. This month in sports, we did a follow-up on the U Sports transgender student athlete policy, looking for details on how exactly schools are going to implement it, what kind of questions U Sports has had from schools about it and from the public. If you want to check it out, it is on our website now. In playoff news this month, unfortunately, the women's field hockey team was not able to continue for their 8th straight national title. In their final Canada West game of the year, though they did win against Calgary, they did not go through to nationals on goal differential. UVic had 10 goals, or positive 10 goals this year, while Ubyssey only had +5. The men's soccer team is competing for the nationals. It's hosted on campus over at Thunderbird Stadium. The nationals tournament starts Thursday, November 8th. Hopefully they make the finals as well. They've been really good so far this season, so definitely worth checking out.
Hey everyone. At least it wasn't a gator. Welcome to Florida Features. One of our news editors, Zach Veshra, teamed up with a bunch of student journalists from across Canada to see how universities across Canada are rolling out cannabis regulation on campuses. What he found is that UBC is actually pretty liberal compared to other campuses, and that they're focusing on harm reduction, whereas other campuses are banning it from residences and all student areas. In 2018, 38% of students at UBC reported experiencing racial discrimination or harassment, but that number is hardly a one-off. The AMS and UBC are currently working together to consult on a new version of Policy 3 that would see it updated to reflect the institution. However, some students say that policy won't go far enough and that making curricula more inclusive and working to have these discussions out in the open are the only ways to really make change on this issue.
Welcome to Science. This month in Science, we covered a discovery by a group of researchers at UBC who found a new way to machine ultrasound transducers. This fabrication technique is similar to 3D printing, and it allows them to make these transducers, which are the things that actually make the ultrasounds, out of cheap polymer plastics, and so has the potential to greatly reduce the cost of ultrasounds and maybe even make them something that you can run off of your phone. Finally, we also covered a story about the announcement that the federal government is going to be contributing $10 million to the construction of a new Institute for Advanced Medical Isotopes. And this facility will have some really advanced facilities for manufacturing different isotopes that are useful in nuclear medicine, as well as dedicated facilities for research into things like novel cancer treatments using these medical isotopes.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Culture. This month in Culture, we had a wide variety of both fantastic examples of artistic achievement, as well as fantastic examples of marginalized voices being represented. First off, we had the Ubyssey Symphony Orchestra, who tried to improvise a symphony piece to represent glacial feelings. I don't know how better to describe it, you just gotta read the article. We also had the Ubyssey Library officially get their hands on an LGBTQ archive. It's massive, it contains amazing resources, and it's free and available for all Ubyssey students to go check out. And lastly, we had a collective of Indigenous students speaking out about Halloween and Indigenous Halloween costumes, giving their opinions and feelings about why Indigenous Halloween costumes are not okay and do not represent true Indigenous identity.